All right, troops.
Mark, brilliant to see you again, my man. How are you getting on?
Yeah, good. Very busy with lots of projects with Laugh Fable and doing my first hour show in November, which is quite exciting. So yeah, as well as personal stuff, moving in with my girlfriend. So it's just like it's great. It's full on, but it's
Mm.
really exciting. Yeah.
That's fantastic, man. Like, that's absolutely brilliant. Like, because I've seen how well you've been doing. Like, obviously, since we last spoke as well, the Laugh Able stuff has just
Yeah.
skyrocketed since then.
Yeah, do you know what? It's been really, really good. Like, to be honest, like we got a second round of funding to run some workshops for residents in East London. And we're
Mm.
looking at, we've got actually 3 years in a row that we can be delivering these workshops. So that's really exciting. But I'm looking to sort of, collaborate with other people outside of London to, to basically help more disabled people get into comedy. That's the sort of the plan. And then me and another comic, Benny Shakes, had a
Yeah.
wonderful run with a show that was created by a deaf comedian called Steve Day called Disabled Counts. And it was an amazing Edinburgh run. We got an award, Disability Champions. And we got a letter from the First Minister of Scotland
Mm.
saying how well, how pleased he is for us and stuff. So I got Laugh Fable, but I've also got to work with Benny Shakes and Disabled Cants. So, basically the idea is to create a fantastic disability network around the UK.
Yeah.
And Benny's based in Nottingham, I'm based in London, but we want to really spread it out and get more disabled people into comedy because that's the idea.
Yeah. Well, and what the stuff that I saw obviously was fantastic. I mean, how many nights was it you done at the Fringe this year?
So we were running two shows. We were running the Blue Badge Bunch, which is a disability taskmaster for kids, teaching them about disability through interactive games, and Disabled Cancer. There's two shows a day for a month.
Wow.
So that was about over 50 shows, plus all the compilation shows we were on to try and promote our own shows.
Yeah.
So I probably did about 70 plus shows overall. It was,
Wow. How did you deal with
yeah,
like,
I mean,
like the burnout afterwards as well? It must have been a killer for you, man.
yeah, it fucking was. Like, Benny claims it's not hit him yet, but I'm convinced it has, and he's just not telling me because it definitely hit me. Because
Mm.
also as well, because I come back and then my my partner's like, right, you said after Edinburgh we could be looking for a place. Yeah, great, let's do it. And then I just hit a wall, and I was like, oh God, everything. But it's
Oh,
yeah, it does hit you. It does
yeah.
hit you.
Yeah.
But
Everything must have been
especially
going
when
like
you
100 mile an hour for you, like, especially. Well, you've been away
yeah.
performing about 70 shows for over a month, and then your girlfriend saying, right, you said we'd start looking now. Surely she could have done some of the legwork like for you just for coming down, going, right, I've sourced an
No, no, no.
area and I've sourced some things.
In all fairness, I will defend her in this.
Yeah.
She was doing very well at looking for places. Like she was doing a lot of the legwork. And I said to her, look, while I'm preparing for Edinburgh and because I'm recently self-employed,
Mm.
I'm just gonna need some time to adjust to it. And she was like, absolutely. So she did a lot of the legwork. And what she meant after Edinburgh, right, let's start, was Mark, you need to put a shift in now, which is
Mm.
completely fair. But I was
Mm.
just like, I should have just like, I don't know. But there's never like when you want to move in with your partner, there's never a calm, relaxing time to then go, oh, let's move in because that's
Yeah.
life. Life is just if it wasn't after Edinburgh, it'd be like after Christmas or something. Then it'd
Yeah.
be like, well, I've got to prepare for the next Edinburgh. So actually, it was actually we're doing it all in one, and as soon as we move in, the better will be. We can be settled, and yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
it when you're doing comedy and when you're self-employed, trying to maintain your personal life is always that especially when you do have like mental health conditions such as
Mm-hmm.
myself, you know, anxiety and depression. I went through a few things for
Mm.
my own personal stuff, but that was because I was so overwhelmed with everything.
Yeah.
It's weird. I go through days where I love having so many things to do, and then there are days where I'm like, no, I just want to curl up in my duvet and forget everything.
Mm.
I'm sure you can relate to that. I don't know, but
Yes, I was about to say, like, congratulations, Mark. You are definitely a creative.
yeah.
Because that is what happens. Like with me, like getting the show kind of back up for its one last hurrah. Like, about 50 odd people have reached out saying they want to either come on for first time or come back on. The diary for this week alone, like I have about 25 interviews that I'm blasting through. But I know once I get to that point where I'm on the roll, and once it comes to a stop, it just goes stop. It has to because you go down and you crash and you're like, right, I am done. I need a break. And then you never realize when the break is going to stop.
Yes. Oh my God. And I think it's because I'm autistic as well. It's like sometimes I don't recognize my own emotions. Sometimes it's like,
Mm,
okay, I'm starting to get snappy with people. Well, that's fine. That's just because there's a lot going on. Okay,
yeah.
I'm starting to get really snappy with why is that? And then it's like, oh, there is too much. Oh shit.
Yeah.
But
It was like,
I have such a brilliant support network.
yeah.
My family, actually my girlfriend, she's been great in all of this, and we've
Mhm.
had our moments, but we all do.
Oh, of
But
course, yeah.
girlfriend, my family, my friends, it's all the disability network that I've been a part of since I started comedy.
Yeah. Well, one thing I
I
actually want to
support it.
ask you, when it comes to like the autism side of it, uh,
Yeah.
recently, like me and like my missus, like we're having a wee bit of a separation just now, like because I took not well.
Yeah.
But one of the things that she said to me, what is she was like, have you ever thought about getting put, find out if you're on the spectrum? Like because
Mm.
I've been told this a couple of times, like throughout, like quite a few times throughout like my recent life. But Alison noticed it when we took the kids to like Anchor Boys, like a wee kind of like wee group, and the noise just really, really overwhelmed me all of a sudden. And I was like, right, I need to get out, I need to run, like, and it was just like all of a sudden, just out, and everything. It was like the volume in my head just went cranked right up. And I've always been kind of like that, like social situations, like noise is a real factor for me. And she was like, "Have you ever thought about seeing?" Because it was the first time she'd witnessed it happening to me. Because I always try and keep that stuff to myself. And
Mm.
she was like, but I was like, I honestly don't know the first thing about it. Like, it's one thing when people tell you you should go and get checked. It's another thing actually being able to trust someone, like, and I trust you, like, to ask, like, what was the kind of process? Like, how did you kind of like find out it was like? Because it's a little bit of fear, like,
I
in my
mean, the
head as
thing is,
well.
it's a very interesting question, but I feel like I was diagnosed when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and my mum, and actually, if I'm talking about this in my hour-long show,
Mm,
like I asked my mum when did she realise something was a bit different about me.
mm,
Well, like I have an identical twin who's also autistic, and
uh,
we apparently had our own language as babies. So our language was delayed, but she thought that's because we were twins and we
yeah.
had our own little thing. But then we had our own little obsession. She was telling me that Thomas the Tank Engine, I used to watch it and I used to
Mm,
recreate it exactly how it was on TV. And
yeah.
if my cousins came in and tried to interfere with it, I would get really upset and angry by it.
Hmm.
And she was like, okay, that's a bit different. Like,
Yeah.
but so I had a very supportive mum who worked for a disability charity. Funnily enough, that disability charity sponsors Laugh Able, so we've come in a circle. But
Yeah.
like, it was, she was just like, we were finding it hard to make friends at school, me and my brother, and again, we'd have certain obsessions that we couldn't when we have our hyper focus on sessions, we couldn't
Yeah.
seem to like get out of other things. And again, taking things literally as well.
Mhm.
Like I remember an adult saying to me once, "Oh, you seem to be full of beans," and I thought, "Well, I haven't eaten any of that recently." So, but it was stuff like that. And then my
Yeah.
mum was like, "Okay, I'll." She went to our school and went, "I think my children have autism," and
Mm.
then the school went, "Oh no, we've already got them checked out for that." No, they don't. So without my mum's consent, they got in a psychologist without telling my mum. And she was like, okay, one, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Two, I'm going through the NHS and we're getting a second opinion.
Mm.
And I'm going to be there when you do your observations. And they did the observations, they were like, yeah, they do.
Mm.
Because the thing is, it's like sometimes it goes under the radar.
Yeah.
And I was very lucky to have a parent who was quite knowledgeable about this and was like, okay, this could be something.
Yeah.
Let's build in the support mechanisms. Whereas when you're an adult, and I've talked to so many adults with autism that
Mm.
got the autism diagnosis, my God, the process is so different
Right.
because you don't have your parent doing it for you.
Hmm.
And the health service and everything like that is such in a state at the moment
Yeah.
that adults getting a diagnosis, it can take up to 2, 3 years. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
mental. So I get why say you'd be put off by doing that, not just because it's I would get it done if it would help improve your life.
Mm.
I would that's the advice I would say to anyone. If you think that diagnosis is going to give you the support mechanisms to help you, then get it. But if it's just another label that explains your behaviors, then do you really need it?
Yeah.
But that's something you have to think about yourself. I'm not a
Mm.
psychologist myself. The worst thing I've had is after a gig, oh, Mark, I think I might be autistic. What do you want me to do? I'm not a physician.
Yeah.
I can't diagnose you. I here pronounce you autistic. I can't do that.
But I've only had that power as well, just kind of like like the autism priest, just
Yeah,
to come up and
exactly.
go like
Oh, bless you.
it's like you have skipped the queue for the NHS by 3 years now.
You are now, I now pronounce you train man. You know, it's just like, what do you want me to?
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, like I relate completely to the Thomas the Tank Engine thing, especially because that's exactly what I would do with my airport trains. What it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was just literally the carpet because I had the trains didn't have like the tracks at the end, but I would recreate things with the
Yeah,
trains. And if what anybody get even with my brother, what he wanted his back to like build his Lego, I would be ready to lamp him. I'd be like, no way, do not come near like this setup. Well,
yeah.
and
This is the setup I got going on. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and like
But I only found out about this like literally 3 days ago that I was like this. So
mm,
I often think I'm the atypical autistic. I don't fit the stereotypes because a lot of people say I'm very sociable, I can talk to people. Yeah,
mm,
autistic people can talk to people, but sometimes we don't know where the line is or when we overstep it. So if we
yeah,
offend or piss off someone, we don't know we've done it. So
yeah.
you get the
And it's like
autistic
it's quite
that
funny
are social.
because see the
Yeah.
instant that I asked you, my brain went, I really hope I've not offended him, and I need to apologize if I do because what
But you
it's the
don't
same
know, and
deal.
that's oh, but I honestly, my threshold for being offended is like up there. Like you'd have to really piss me off to do that. But like, it's yeah, no, it's because I thought I was sociable, I wasn't like that. But it's a spectrum. You could be a social introvert and
Mm,
be autistic, but you could be an introverted extrovert, which is
all
what
right.
I am. So I like to
Yeah.
make the effort, but at times I'm just like I wanted to stop. But
Yeah.
like
Because
it's yeah.
say it can get overwhelming though. It's like that's because it's the same deal. It's like see doing this, like I can have that kind of confident kind of persona about me. But see, like I was doing just a wee 5 minute gig on Sunday, and I completely shut down. I couldn't. What people were like, "Oh, how are you?" and stuff, and I was like, just kind of nodding and I was shaking and I was like, I'm absolutely, I thought it was just nerves and stuff, but I was absolutely terrified. And even coming off once once I'd done my set, like you would think like, that's the release and you can go, oh, like that's me done. Like, oh, thanks very much, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't speak. It's like, I really struggled. Like I was like looking down at my phone and just all that kind of stuff and just trying to find the ways to
That
get
happened to
back.
me two weeks ago. I was
Yeah.
emceeing a gig, and because I was going through a lot of personal stuff,
Mm.
I remember almost choking on stage, and I haven't done that in a long time. But
Wow.
that's when I know I'm over, because comedy is normally the release for me.
Mm.
But I felt in that moment it wasn't, because I was going through stuff.
Yeah.
And even afterwards, it was like people were chatting, and yeah, I experienced the same thing. But
Mm.
that hasn't happened to me in a while. But that's when you know you're burnt out, when
Yeah.
something you normally is a release for you is suddenly no,
Hmm.
it's not functioning. It's
Yeah.
But it's good that you've recognised that, and it's good that I recognised it myself, but I was taken aback by it. I was like, oh my god, I'm so shocked that I acted like this. And
Yeah.
then I started to overthink it, and then I started to get low, and
Yeah.
that's where I spiraled, and I haven't done that in a while either. But
Mm.
mm, like it can hit you when you don't even realise it as well.
Yeah. And I think like the reason like particularly my wife has what probably clocked onto these things with me is because I've said for a while, like, because I've got identical twin boys as well. It's like,
Yeah, I remember. How are
yeah,
they?
yeah, they're good. They're really good. Like, they're doing well. That's them started primary school.
Oh,
What,
lovely.
what the teachers just love them. What, they love like their personalities and stuff. But I've said for quite a while that I've wanted to check if Connor's autistic. Like,
Right, okay.
because there's traits that he's got, like the same the same things that I've got as well. It's like he's not good with loud noises. Like he's very creative but very restrained. It's like he'll cling to Kieran. Like he'll go and chat to anybody to the point where I'm like, okay, buddy, remember stranger danger here. It's like this is well, whereas Connor is like, if he can't be on his own for more than for more than like 5 seconds, he's got to be with me or he's got to be with what Allison or he's got to be with his brother. And there's and I've said for a couple of years now, I was like, I really want like someone just to it's not a case of thinking Evan bad. I just want to make sure he's got the love and the support that he can get. Because
Yeah.
he's fit. They're both fucking clever. Like they're reading like 2 or 3 years above their level. They're really smart. They're really confident. I'm not saying this isn't me saying it to big up my kids. It's people telling us it, and I'm going, all right, cool. Where did they get that
So
brains from? Alison, who were you shagging? Kind of thing. But it's the same deal. I think it's because I've noticed these wee things and I've been like, right, Alison, I'm not in the house now. Just keep an eye on him. Just make sure he's okay. Like, make sure they're both safe. And then when I had that blip around her, and I think that maybe twigged. It's like maybe it's something. There's something similar.
yeah,
But they're both doing fantastically. Like they're both brilliant wee boys. I just like any dad, you just want to make sure that they're safe and they're loved and get the best support they can.
I mean that's what my mum was just like. Was like we were again. She said, "Oh, we were very good boys, but we were also very bright. We also always wanted to. Yeah, we always wanted to try things as well, and but it would take us longer than other people. That's what it was. Like I was 14 when I learned to ride a bike, and my younger cousins taught me, and it was just a bit like, yeah, because of my dyspraxic, because I was quite
Mm.
clumsy, but that was again to do with the autism and things like that. But it's like
Yeah.
I was very fortunate to have that network around me that understood that.
Mm.
Like even like my uncle when he took my mum's brother when he took us away on holiday, he was getting quite frustrated with me and my brother because we'd be questioning what we were doing. And he was
Yeah.
like, oh, they're just being cheeky. They're just trying to wind me up. And my mum was explaining, well, no,
Hmm.
that's the autism. They're just trying to want
Yeah.
it to be clear what's happening.
Yeah.
And you're like,
The thing
oh,
that I've
okay. And the
So
minute
like,
I understood that, it was fine. But yeah.
yeah, the thing I've noticed with the boys, like in particular corner, is he'll ask arithmetic questions to the point of like where I genuinely don't know, like I'm questioning my own mental capacity to answer the arithmetic questions. Is like they'll start off like maybe saying like, what's 3 + 3 again, Daddy? And I'm like, well, 3 + 3 6, you know that, buddy. And I was like, I'm like, because you're really smart. I know you're smart. And then I'll be like, what's 100 + 306? And I'm like, holy hell, you're hitting me with the hard ones now, buddy. And then they'll be like, come on, Dad, you know this. And I'm like, oh, but where's this coming? And I'm like, okay, do you know the answer? And then they'll tell me it, and they're bloody right. And I'm like,
what really freaked out my mum is my twin brother, 7 years old,
mm,
like walked down one evening and it was like 9 p.m. and she was like, "You all right, Lee?" He was like, "Yeah, I think I know my 13 times table." And she was like, "What?" And he recited it. And she was like, okay, what's 13 times 11? And he got it straight away.
wow.
And it was just like a 7-year-old
Yeah.
doing that. But then it's weird because she thought, okay, he's going to be an accountant when he's older.
Mm,
But for whatever reason, we're both done creative paths. Like he's a freelance journalist and I'm doing the comedy. So
yeah.
neither of us went down the maths route at all.
Yeah. I know, and it's interesting because like Kieran, like he is brilliant at Monopoly to the point where he kicked my dad's ass at Monopoly. Like five
Nice.
years old, and he whipped my dad. And my dad's no like my dad's no like slouch. He will beat you and annihilate you and be proud of it. Like because
Yeah.
he done that to me, and it
And he
was
wasn't giving your son a chance. So no.
no like not at all. Like he will happily destroy a kid's self esteem, like because he did it to me for 36
Nice.
years. Like,
That's what most parents do, to be
yeah, yeah.
honest.
So it was like Alison's been beaten at knots and crosses by Connor 3 times in a row. Kieran's gubbed him at Monopoly, and then gubbed my dad as well. And I'm hearing this, and I'm going, be the little shits that I was never allowed to be. Keep going, boys. If you beat me, I'm happy because I'm just like, I just want to see you do well. So to the point
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
the point where they
Encourage
get
them.
pissed off because I'm not getting pissed off at them for winning. I'm like, I just want you to do well, and if you win, fair dues. If I win, fair dues. And we just and I always like that kind of having that healthy relationship with them in that
That
sense.
is very healthy because
It's like,
it's like, but what happens when they do lose? How do they react?
oh, what Kieran goes nuts. Kieran goes absolutely ballistic. Like he hates it. He absolutely hates it. Like Connor used to be like that, but he's came round to more like the same way that I do it, like where it's like, you know what, if he's losing, he just goes, well, I'm playing for fun. Well, it's just in that nice polite way, and I'm like, that's my boy. That Kieran, what will just go
No.
nuts. But sometimes it depends on the game as well. If it's a game that Connor's won before and all of a sudden he's starting to get beat, that will come out in him. Like we were playing Ludo.
Wow.
We were playing Ludo, and previous times, like he'd won a couple of games, and I was loving playing with him. And then he started to lose, and he didn't go like crazy. He just shrunk into himself. I could see his shoulders going down, and then I was like, "You're not liking this anymore, buddy." And he's like, just shook his head. I'm like, "Well, on you go. Like, take 5-10 minutes to cool off." And I was like, "If you don't feel like you want to play anymore, like we'll just carry on without you." And he said, "I don't want to play anymore." It was fine. 5-10 minutes later, he came back. We're already halfway through the game. And he's like, well, where's my stuff? And I went, you said you didn't want to play. I took it in the literal sense. Well, again, and then I felt absolutely terrible because I'm like, feck, I should have given him the benefit of the doubt. He's 5 and I'm 36. I should have given him that credit. So I'm like,
Yeah, but like he needs to learn that if he walks away, if he makes a decision about something, there are consequences to that. And one of them being, well, you said you didn't want to take part, so you're not taking part. So as much as you took that literal, I would be like, so I have a teaching background, and so it's like actually learning to be okay with not doing well. As it is, I think there's this real, you know, I think there was a while there was this everyone's a winner sort of thing. No, no, no. It's okay to play a game and to lose at something and then to move on and go, well, okay, well, you might win next time. that's okay. Like my young nephews try and cheat all the time in games, and I'm like, no, we're playing properly. And they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, but Daddy lets us do this. I'm like,
Mm,
sometimes he does, but not always, right? I went, yeah.
mm,
Because my brother's like me. He's like, well, no, we're playing properly. Like
yeah.
this is the game. And if you lose, that's okay.
Hmm.
Like I think there's this. I think he'll learn. Like and you should never feel bad because he made a decision not to take part anymore.
Yeah. Well,
And
and
that was his. I know he's 5 years old, whatever, but that's his decision. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah. It's when they create their own games and then they change the rules every 2 seconds, and I'm like,
oh,
it's
fucking
like,
hell, yes,
oh,
yeah.
I shut down. I properly shut down, like to the point where it's like and I tell them that, and I was like, you've changed because they're like, why aren't you playing with us anymore? And I'm like, you've changed the rules too many times for me. I can't keep up. As like, I know
Can't
that you,
process it.
as
Yeah,
like, so I can't process it, and I shut down. Like to the point where I'm literally like, I can't speak to them. I was like, because I'm trying to
yeah.
figure out what they've done. It can be something as simple as like they like to hit a balloon back and forth sometimes, and then they'll change it to go right. I want to play in teams. Then they'll go right. I want to jump to this team, or I want to play with you. Or why don't we do 2-on-1? Why don't we do three? By this point, I'm like, I'm still trying to process that there's a balloon. Well, and
Yeah.
it's like my head is kind of gone. And they're like, why have you stopped playing with us? And I'm like, I can't process it, guys. I was like, when we were just batting it about, what that was okay. That was fine. But when you've started to make things and one of the things that they do right now is they'll go right. So they'll shout the person's name, but if they hit it to the wrong person, like if they shouted daddy and it went to corner, they'll go right. Well, now corner's daddy and daddy's now corner. And they'll
So
do this
they'll
to
try. Yeah.
yeah, so to kind of cover their mistake, but if they do it like more 2 or 3 times, again, it's a shutdown. I was like, can we not do that, please? Well, because it's confusing me, and then I feel like a bad dad because I feel like I'm stopping their fun. It's like,
No,
but trying to explain this to Alison, like when they're saying Daddy isn't playing with us, and she's like, why not playing? I'm like, how do I explain this without sounding like a prick? So this is like my
yeah.
therapy today. Thank you. I'm really needing this.
No, but it's interesting because like my nephews, right? They so me and my brother will go and babysit them sometimes, and because I've had teaching experience, I kind of know when they're trying to manipulate a situation. All
Mm,
kids do. All kids do it. It's part
yeah.
of growing up. You're trying to manipulate the rules for your own benefit. It's a big part of being grown up,
Yeah.
right? But with my brother, my twin, who's very more autistic than me, he will take it for his own. But then when I'm there, I'll be like, no, hang on, does daddy normally allow you crisps at 9 p.m.?
Mm,
Yeah, he does. Okay, so if I phone daddy right now, he would tell me that you're allowed crisps at 9 p.m. No.
mm.
Okay, so how about go get a piece of fruit? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
whereas my brother was about to give him a bag of crisps. I was like, no. Right? It's weird, but also as well, like my brother, he works for a software company, but they quiz books for schools online. But he
All right.
found this book called Asperger's Superhero,
Mm,
right? And he read it to my nephew. And so I think so we're trying to teach our nephews about our autism through
mm.
stories
Yeah.
because that's the best. I think my older brother, their dad, has kind of sort of said things about it,
Right.
but like just like Uncle Lee and Uncle Mark, they're a certain way because of
Mm,
this. So he'll try to explain it, but more often than not, it'll be there's books around autism now that you can read to kids that they can learn about it. But
yeah.
like my nephews, they have classmates in wheelchairs, and my oldest nephew will go and help them and include them in
Mm,
games and things like that because there is that attitude to do that. So
yeah.
it's lovely. But
Yeah.
I feel like, our family is very much right. It's a disability, whatever. We'll bring everyone in.
Hmm.
So, and
Well,
that's
and
the ethos. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great way to be, man. Like, and like, I've always like I always keep track of the stuff that you're doing, like especially not just the comedy circuit stuff, but like you're raising awareness and raising education. Like, and what I want to say, like, I'm unbelievably proud of you, mate. You're doing so
Thank
well.
you.
And I know sometimes like it can always feel like there's so much going on. It's trying to pinpoint those moments, but how much that you've done, like even since the last time we spoke, what you do so well, what the awareness that you're raising is fantastic. What I just wish there was more people like you up here in Scotland was that could fly that flag for us, because there seems to be a real lack of it up here for us.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've done well, but there's been times when it's been like I still do a bit of home tutoring to boost my income
Mm,
because I've run some workshops, I've run festivals, but in terms of proper paid solo work,
yeah.
I'm struggling to break through with that. And I've been doing this 5 years, and you do something, oh God, can I? But then I look at someone like Don Biswas, who's a fantastic autistic comedian.
Mm,
He said to me once, Mark, it took me 13 years to get to where I got to. So everyone's on their own journey. And I
yeah.
keep reminding myself on that. So if I don't, I'd love to I'd love to give up my home tutoring and just focus on the comedy, but financially I can't at the moment.
Yeah.
But that hits me hard since I've been doing comedy 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But like I always go back to what Don says to me, everyone's on their own journey. You will get there, but in your own time. And I think comedians, creatives, that's the best advice I've ever heard. Don't
Yeah.
ever compare yourself to others, because if you start going down that road, you're going to get cynical and you're going to want to give up. And believe me, there are times when I've wanted to do that. Like, how was that person ahead of me? They were behind me
Mm,
a month ago.
yeah.
But there's no point getting cynical about it because it's not going to change your situation.
Yeah. Well,
So, and actually for neurodiverse people, it's harder. Like one of the biggest things I struggle with is networking, is trying to like get up the comedy ladder. But a lot of that is by networking and being that I can be sociable, but I don't
mm,
know whether what I'm doing is right. Whereas I know other comics been going less than me will meet a promoter after a gig and then start chatting, and then all of a sudden they'll be getting headline and paid spots or whatever. It's like,
yeah.
how have you done that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because for me, when I socialize with people, I'm honest.
Yeah.
With I'm not saying that they're not, but like I'll be honest about a night if I don't like it. Whereas maybe what you
Mm-hmm.
should be is sucking up to whoever, and it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've always found that a big challenge. But
Yeah.
you
Well,
know, there'll be other autistic comics that will give me the platform. Like Joe Wells, he's an amazing autistic comic. Gave me a paid opener spot, which was
mm,
brilliant, which is not many people have done that so
yeah.
far, and I hope to get more from that. But he sees that as he wants to give other neurodiverse people opportunities, and that's what I want to do with Laugh Able. And I think because he sees that with Laugh Able, he's like, I'm not saying I'm doing it to get something out of it. I'm always doing it to get others a platform. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, eventually I'd like to earn
Yeah.
from this, and make a living from it. But yeah,
Yeah.
so as I recognise that I've been doing really well, and I really appreciate you saying what you said, but
Mm,
I'm still my biggest critic. Oh, I could be doing better,
mm-hmm. We
and we
always
all
are.
think that.
We always
Mm.
are, my
But
friend. Like, so
I've loved what you've done with your show, the journey you've been on with that. It's been incredible to watch. So
thank you.
right back at you, mate. Honestly,
I
and giving a
appreciate it, man.
platform to diverse and mental health people with mental health. It's what we need to do. It's
Yeah.
really good what you're doing. So
Thank you, man. But we are coming up on time. So what I want to do to finish off is I want you to promote everything that you're doing with Laugh Able, and get it out there. And I will put links in the description as well. So let everybody know where they can find you, man.
So yeah, Laugh Able Comedy Night on TikTok and on Insta. That's at Laugh Able Comedy Night. On X, Twitter, it's Laugh Able
Mm,
underscore night. You can search on Facebook, Laugh Able Comedy Night, for all the stuff we're doing. Mark Nicholas Comic is for all the solo stuff I'm doing on TikTok, on Insta. I have a solo show. I don't know when this is going out, but I have a solo show 10th of November called
mm,
Autistically Trained. and it's all about my journey with my diagnosis, my family, my friends, getting sacked from being an SEN teacher, which I think is very ironic, and my journey into comedy, dealing with grief through one of my parents passing away. So it's that Autistically Trained is my first proper hour, and it's a show I'm writing at the moment I'm really proud of, and that will be in Nottingham. So if you're East Midlands based and you're listening to this, or if you're not, just make the journey to Nottingham.
Yep.
That'll be November the 10th.
Yep.
But all the Love Fable stuff and all my other stuff will be on all my socials. So Love Fable runs first Wednesday of every month in Wanstead, East London. So
Brilliant.
yeah, that's me. So
Brilliant, man. But let's say all the links will be in the description of this video, as well as when you've been saying it. I do have wee gifts now that they'll all come up at the bottom so they can see them as well. So we can get it on. It will be out after you've done your show. But I have every faith that you're going to be doing that show again by the time this has come out.
Oh yeah, 21st of February in Leicester Comedy Festival.
Well,
I'll be at Richard III venue.
Yeah, definitely out before then.
Yeah.
Definitely out before then.
Yeah. 21st of February, I'll be doing a show called This Isn't the Autistic You're Looking For. And it's got a picture of me as Obi-Wan Kenobi. There will be some Star Wars humor in it. But again, it's my journey. It's my journey being an autistic adult. I'm not the autistic everyone thinks autism is. But it's about my life in autism, comedy, my teaching, my family, my friends. It's the same. It'll be a very similar show. So 21st of February at Leicester Comedy Festival, Richard III venue. The links will be there. Yeah.
They will indeed. Mark, thank you so much, man. It's been brilliant speaking with you again. And I look forward to seeing how everything's done for you. Until next time, everybody, I'm Andrew Durnan. It's been a brilliant Mark Nicholas. Take care.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.